How does this conscious business curriculum help you and your organization shift towards this new leadership paradigm? In this short video, we will outline the Conscious Business Institute framework and the approach for this curriculum. This is a framework and a methodology we have used for 8 years in organizations from 1 to over 100,000 people. To help you understand this framework of this program, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. If you examine your life, or the company you work in, for example, we can notice that we all live in the context of 4 quadrants shown in this graphic. The top left, which is the individual, is really who you are, what you think and what you do. The top right quadrant is the relationship quadrant, the team quadrant, how we interact with others, with our spouse, with our family, with our team members, or with clients. On the bottom left side is the organizational quadrant, that we all are never just an individual in a vacuum, but we all live in the context of organizations. It may be a family, a company, a government, a non-profit organization, or just with our customers. And on the bottom right is the outcome we want to create, the results of our individual work, our interactions with others, or the success of our business. So if you look at these quadrants and think about it, if these 4 quadrants are addressed to your fulfillment, there's really a good chance you're fulfilled in your life, where you say, my life is great. But what we found is that we look at today's workplaces, let's call it the traditional companies here, they really only fulfill the bottom right quadrant, which is to create profits and to secure margins. The business aspects of stuff. Of course, they do team building. They come up with a mission. The individual is placed according to their strength. But when something hits the fan, when there's a finance crisis, when the sales are dwindling, when there are budget cuts, most companies fall back to this lower right quadrant. And it's all about securing profits and margins again. Now, if you look at the inspiring companies, the more conscious businesses, where we go, wow, there's really something different and cool about these organizations. Maybe it's a Google, a Patagonia, a SaaS software, or Tom's Shoes. We see that these companies from the get-go focus on fulfilling all 4 quadrants. Not only when the weather is nice and money is in the bank, but even and especially in critical situations. And we can also see that as one of these companies stops fulfilling those quadrants, for example, when Google makes their people work too hard, we see that they lose inspiration and this entire model collapses and goes back to the bottom right quadrant. And now take a moment and look at this circle. Ask yourself if you could work in an organization where you would be rewarded for bringing your gifts and talents, where you could actually be yourself and do what you're good at. And then interact with people you actually enjoy being with, so you can get a sense of connection and trust, maybe even would share a vacation together. And then on the bottom left, if that organization exists for a purpose where you feel, wow, we're really making a difference here. It's not just about cranking out a new product, but really about doing something meaningful, and where you make good money and are financially sustainable and actually do well. Ask yourself, is there any reason why you want to leave that company? Over the years, we've asked hundreds of people, and they always say no, because it's not about business here, but about human behavior. As human beings, we all want to express ourselves. We all want to feel connected to others. We all want to make a difference in the world and be sustained financially. So if you look at it, these 4 quadrants are the reasons why we build organizations in the first place. Look at how Bill Hewlett and David Packard set up Hewlett Packard in their garage in Silicon Valley. They came together, did what they enjoyed doing, created something cool that was of value to others, and made money along the way. Look at maybe even you getting married to your spouse. You find somebody where you can be yourself, you enjoy the connection with her or him, and hopefully pursue a common vision for your marriage, maybe even a family. And you want to be safe and well off. So isn't it always about these 4 quadrants? These are the Conscious Business Institute's quadrants for a healthy organization. This is the model upon which this conscious business curriculum is built. Now, there's a 5th component, the green circle that you can see, to create a leadership model that is able to build and maintain an organizational culture that keeps all the 4 quadrants alive and vibrant. In this curriculum, we will take you step by step through these 4 quadrants and the leadership model so you can keep these alive and fulfilled in your career, wherever you work, or in the business that you own. Thereby, to create a life, a career, and a business that's more fulfilling, more juicy and rewarding, both internally as well as financially. There's something special about the Conscious Business Institute curriculum. As you go through this curriculum step by step, we will actually start with you as an individual, not with businesses or leadership. We will start with you as an individual and who you really are. Why do we do that? The reason is that organizations are systems run by individuals. It is not companies making choices and decisions, but individuals within companies. So in order to shift to this new model of doing business, we as individuals have to shift to a new consciousness. We have to shift our thinking from the existing model of success to a new one. And that's a fundamental shift. So to understand the underlying thinking behind this curriculum and the importance to start with the individual, take a look at these concentric circles. These might look like simple circles, but this is a fundamental shift in thinking that builds the foundation of this program. So if you look at our current model of success, the way we run our companies today, the way we get up in the morning, and the way we pursue our career, we see that we usually operate from the outside in. We think that if we do more and then accumulate more stuff, and as a result, we become somebody. Take a look at most people's lives. They study hard, they accumulate good grades, they become an honor student so that the mom or dad can glue a sticker on their car. And later on, we study even more. We accumulate degrees and maybe we become an engineer or a doctor. And then a few years later in our job, we work hard, we accumulate money and titles, we become respected and powerful, and maybe even a street is being named after us. This model to do more, to accumulate more stuff and then become somebody is the reason why our world is not sustainable, why we are stressed out and why we are overworked. Why? Because if 7 billion people on this planet follow this model, accumulate stuff to be somebody, our planet will be stripped of all the natural resources and we will be in deep doo-doo. Furthermore, the model does not leave any room for what we really yearn for in our life, the meaning, purpose, joy or connection to other people. It simply does not appear in this equation. So if we want to get what we really desire in life, the meaning, the joy, the connection, the ease or sustainability, we must shift this model. And the way we can do that is we can turn it around. We can go from the inside out, which means to be authentic, to do what our gifts inspire, and then to receive or have what you need. This might sound a little simplistic, but if you think about it, it's a really fundamental shift in the way we think. It's a fundamental shift in the way our entire culture, our education, our businesses operate. So it better be simple, because to practice this will be hard enough. There are two important implications of this model that I want to mention to you. The first one is, if we want to create something in our lives, if we want to have anything or change something, it's not just enough to do more or do something different. This would be the behavioral level. We must consider the being level, a different mindset, a different consciousness, because ultimately our mindset, our consciousness determine all of our behaviors, everything we do, and ultimately the results that we see in our life. Take a look at customer orientation, for example. This is a big thing for many companies. They want to provide better customer service, a deeper engagement with their customers. So when we approach that on a doing level, we basically teach our salespeople what to tell their customers. We integrate different processes, how to contact them or how to follow up with them. Guess what? We end up with more work. What I'm suggesting is to change to the being level, to think differently about customers. Actually get people to make them feel like part of the family. And if you manage to do this, suddenly everything your salespeople will do will come from that mindset. There won't be forms, there won't be processes or training manuals necessary. And what you will have as a result is the emotional connection, the feeling states you want with your customers. Sense of loyalty, belonging, or care. So the first implication is that this model allows us to go deeper to the being level, to work with those things that really drive all of our behaviors and ultimately the results in our life. To summarize it, this curriculum works on the source, and not the symptoms. The second implication is that if we really want to change something in our lives, if we want to work on the being level, we must start with the individual. This is the reason why, if you go through the Conscious Business curriculum, we will start with you as an individual. Now let's take a closer look at the modules of this curriculum. As you can see from the Conscious Business Institute approach, the circle with the 4 quadrants, there's one module for each quadrant and one module for the leadership paradigm, the green circle. So the Conscious Business program consists of 5 modules total.